So today is the 3rd of July. It's our second interview. And we ran so quickly yesterday that we forgot to talk about something very, 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 very important.
Which was?
Your wife.
Oh, absolutely. In my life, anyhow.
How long were you guys married?
How long? Oh, well, I say about close to 50 years. I don't know. Let's see, we got married before we went to Israel. That means, well, Leah was 19 and I was already 22 maybe. And today I'm 100, so we got married pretty quick.
You were married over 50 years.
Yes.
You said over.
Yes, over 50 years.
70 years?
Probably close to it.
Tell me about your wife. Tell me the first time you saw her.
Well, I'll tell you, it was an incident which started our relationship. Shomer Sair had rented a room across Roosevelt Road where they would get together. They called it the Olam. And because Shomer Sair was made up of kids from all over, different ages and different groups. And the adults would meet there occasionally, and then they'd go down to what are these places called? Not restaurants, they were...
like social halls?
No, it's where you buy hot dogs and corned beef and...
A deli?
A deli, right. There was a delicatessen right across the street, and we would go there and have coffee. And we were all sitting around there, the people about this... And we were sitting around talking and doing our own thing and having our coffee. And there was a girl there amongst all those people that somehow attracted me. I hadn't talked to her. I had never met her before. I kept watching her. And when the people began to leave after it was over, she was still there. She was the restaurant's daughter, one of his daughters.
Whose daughters?
The restaurant. Say it again.
The owner.
Yeah, the owner's daughter, yeah. And she was there because the kids would come there and buy candies and stuff on Saturday. And this was on a Saturday.
So her father owned like a delicatessen?
Yes, her father owned a delicatessen.
And they had like corned beef sandwiches?
Yeah, it was a restaurant. It was a regular restaurant. And what we know as a restaurant in Chicago.
And it was owned by her father?
Yes.
And do you remember the name of it?
And the mother worked there.
Everybody worked there?
And, well, not everybody.
Like the family?
But everybody worked there a little bit, you might say. But the parents ran it. And Leah would work on Saturdays sometimes. And I noticed her immediately.
Did you?
Yes.
How old was she when you met her?
14 and a half.
And how old were you?
17.
So 3 years difference between you guys.
Yes. Almost 3 years.
And did you talk to her the first time you met her, or you just kind of like...
Well, this is the first time, and I'm telling you. So everybody left, and she was there. She came up to me. And she said, hi. So I said, hi. So she says, would you like to go out somewhere for a movie or an ice cream or something? I said, you mean like a date? She says, yeah, a date. I said, yeah. I said, I sure would.
Wow.
And she said, she told me where she lived, and I said I would pick her up. And she said, you can take a cab and then stop where I'm at, and we can go continue, and they'll let the cab go. And I said, I don't need a cab, I got a Jeep. I was working with the cattle already.
With the what?
The cattle.
Okay.
I was a period where I was looking for, what I was going to do. And I was working with the cattle, so I had this Jeep from the cattle. And I says, I got a Jeep. She says, a Jeep? I never rode a Jeep. I says, well, come on. And so we went out. That was the first time, and that was the only time we met, and we got married, and we lived together all our lives.
So she was 14?
Right, 14 and a half. Don't forget that and a half, that's important at that age.
And her parents, did you get along with her parents?
I didn't have to get along with it. They didn't bother me, and I didn't bother them.
Were they?
I would come and go and sometimes say hello, and sometimes they would answer, and sometimes they wouldn't.
What was her maiden name?
Leah.
Her maiden name?
Her maiden name?
Fanny.
Right. Good for you.
Leah,
Good for you.
in the
Fanny Leah Shmulevitz.
Smolovitz.
Yes.
Leah from the-
And a teacher of hers told her, a high school teacher told her, you're going to get married pretty quick. She said, why?
Beautiful.
She said, with a name like that,
Fanny.
she says, you got to get married.
Now, you ended up being married to Leah for over 70 years.
Right.
It's a long time.
That's right.
And
It was a good time.
you had 3 children with her.
Right. 3 children and
And-
3 abortions.
3?
Well, she didn't abort. She aborted after the second child, after Leah, after Tommy.
Now, what did her parents think about her coming to Palestine?
They didn't care for the idea, but they didn't. They acted like it wasn't going to happen. But I mean, they weren't that. We didn't talk to them much. I didn't think much about what they, they accepted me. That's all. As long as I didn't bother them.
They were religious. Their parents were religious.
Were religious.
Her father was religious.
Yeah, her father was religious.
It was the kind of religious that Jews.
Like a modern Orthodox?
Right.
He went to the synagogue all the time. Their father. What happened in Yom Kippur, Abba? What did you do with her?
What?
In Yom Kippur, what did you do with her?
Okay, I'll tell her. And when we started going together, we were pretty close. As a matter of fact, we already had sex.
Okay.
And what did you just say?
About
Yom
the-
Ki- Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur, yeah. Yeah, Yom Kippur. I said to her, that's the only day in the year that they close the store. And the store was closed. I said, do you know where the key is? She said, yes. I said, well, go get it. And she did. And she brought the key, and we opened tried to open, but they had a watchdog that was trained. Was really trained, by these organizations. And it stood by the door there when we opened it. She says, Yaakov, let's forget it, maybe some other time. I said, listen, just stand there. Stand quietly, don't be afraid, just stand there. We stood a while, and then I walked in, and she walked in after me. And the dog went to his corner. And he knew her,
Of course.
He might have even known me, but he didn't say.
And you guys ate candy?
What?
You had candy during Yom Kippur?
Not candy. I didn't go there for candy. I went there for corned beef.
But it was closed. But there
But
was
she
corned
brought the
beef.
key.
She had the key. We love corned beef.
Oh.
A good corned beef sandwich,
Oh, boy.
right?
Right.
You don't
Right.
have that in Israel.
Well, they have it, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. You
No,
have other things
it's
here.
not really corned beef.
A good corned beef sandwich,
That'll
amazing.
take you a long way.
Take you a long way.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we had corned beef sandwich. She didn't eat much, but I did. And then we had ice cream.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Leah? Like, what bonded you two together? I'm sure you had a lot of...
Well, you could call it afterwards love, but I mean, we were very close.
Yeah,
We were always together.
yeah.
If I went anywhere, she'd go with me. I'll tell you a little story about.
Please.
They interviewed her in a magazine that they were putting out about the first years at Sasa, how the people, how they struggled and how difficult it was. And they asked her, was it hard for you? Oh, she said it was very difficult. I came from a place where everything was, modern. They had sidewalks and so forth. And here we are in this mountain, and it's really tough. So he says, would you like to go back? She says, yes, I certainly would. So why don't you? She says, I can't. Why not? She says, because where Yaakov goes, I go. And that was a statement that I kept with me all through the years. Where Yaakov goes, I go. And then I knew that hit me right in the stomach.
And what about where she goes, did you go?
What? No, not necessarily. Unless she wanted me for something.
Sure.
But her girlfriend said that she stopped seeing everybody. And she was with me all the time.
She was working.
She was a very good friend of my mother's. They became very close friends.
Yeah, with your mom?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my mom told her, if you marry Yaakov, you'll have trouble all your life. My mother told her that.
Did she really?
Yes, and
Yeah.
she wrote, and I married him, and we have a wonderful life and wonderful children, and it wasn't true.
Hold on a second.
But,
Keep on, I'm just moving the... I'm still recording. Please, I'm just moving the tripod up a little bit.
אבא,
מה?
ספר לו איך אמא הגיעה לשומר הצעיר, שעבדה בדליקטס,
You know?
והמדריכים היו באים אחרי הפעולה.
אז אמרתי את זה.
סיפרת?
Yeah.
לא הייתי
כן.
פה. אמא was very beautiful.
Yeah, I could see in the photos. She was
Yeah.
very gorgeous.
She was very pretty.
Yeah.
Her sister was also.
Her sister was also pretty.
They went there together. His
She was
brother-
awful pretty, but the wonderful thing about her was she was a wonderful person,
Well, that's
a wonderful human being.
the most important thing.
Right.
They went
Right.
together. His brother with her sister and him.
Oh, really?
him
Oh, what?
For
You
a while.
You guys double dated? You and your brother? And him?
No, listen to what she said. That was one time we met
But,
together.
you tried. You tried. So,
No, I didn't try. Her sister was a very pretty woman.
So,
She was older than I am.
so you guys were like when you're in.
But she was in the movement. She joined the movement immediately.
So who joined the movement first? You.
I did, yeah.
No, she did.
I was in the movement since I was 11 years old.
So tell me, now that we talked about Leah, because I felt that before I continue, and we talk about the Marines and the war,
Yes, yeah.
I figured that we didn't talk about Leah, so I'm glad that we talked about her, and
Right.
she'll come up more in the conversations.
We're going to talk about her, but
Yes.
I'm not going to go into our problems between us.
No, we don't have to
No.
do that. That's not what the conversation's about. I wanted to talk about her because we didn't talk about her yesterday.
Right.
And she's a big part of your life.
She absolutely is.
Yes. So now, when you're in San Francisco and you're working as a welder, you're making good money. You're working for Kaiser, right?
Kaiser
His friend
Shipyards,
was
yes.
An Irish, his best friend,
Yeah.
Dennis, was
Yeah.
an Irish guy.
Right. We talked.
Yeah,
about
Leo, wait, don't jump, Leo.
We'll go.
Sit quietly
Yeah.
and then I'll ask you, or you need to, you'll talk.
Okay. And you're living in San Francisco
Right,
with your friend,
yeah.
right? And you're living in an apartment where the owner gives you dinner at night. and
Right,
we're talking
right,
about
right,
that.
right.
And how are you communicating with Leah? letters? Do you guys write each other?
Well, Leah wrote, but I didn't write
Huh?
much. Telephones or Leah wrote, but
Yeah, you do long distance phone calls?
once or twice.
Once or twice? Okay,
Yeah,
it's
but
expensive.
what?
It was expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
But Leah wrote a lot, and
She wrote a lot.
I did so
So you
much.
guys are still in contact?
Yes, we were in
Yes.
contact all the time, and not only that, but she was part of the Hashomer unit in Chicago, and I didn't join them, but I came to them and sat in their meetings in San Francisco.
So you were partially active
Right,
with Hashomer Tzair in
right,
San
right,
Francisco?
right. I was socially involved with
Okay,
them.
but you didn't have time to really. You were
No,
working.
no, certainly.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think it's
World War II breaks out. The Japanese attack Pearl Harbor
Right.
on December 7th, 1941.
Right.
Where are you when this happens?
Where am I?
Yes.
I am already. No,
It's a-
I'm
it's
not.
A weekend. It's a weekend.
I'm not. I don't remember where I was or what I had to do with it.
Okay, you don't remember.
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
But I wasn't in the Marines yet.
No, you were a civilian.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was a civilian.
Right.
And
You're a civilian, and basically.
and if you ask that question, so I'll go on with it. My friend and I went to a movie. It was called Corregidor. Under Corregidor, and I Will Return, something like that. And in that movie, you know, the Japanese captured Corregidor. They captured all the islands then, and MacArthur said, "I will come back, and
I shall return.
I shall return," right. And there was a general who was captured that he left in charge, and he went off with the troops. We thought he was a real son of a bitch, but so that's how it happened. And then I joined him. Danny and I were watching this movie I was talking about, and after the movie we became pretty democratic. Oh, not democratic, patriotic. He did anyhow. He said, "Yaakov, let's join the Marines." I said, "Okay." I was free at that moment with no commitments. I had been discharged from the Marines, no, I wasn't in the service yet. And I was pretty free, and I said, "Okay." So we went to their, what do you call it?
To the recruitment center
Yeah, right.
in San Francisco.
Yes. And they accepted him, but they didn't accept me. And they accepted me, but didn't accept him.
Because he had flat feet or something.
Right, he had flat feet.
And he wasn't tall enough.
No, he was
Tall
tall
enough?
enough, yeah.
Now, what do your parents think about you joining the Marines?
They never said anything, and I never said anything to them.
How did they find out?
Well, I told them. Wasn't a secret. I'm going to go off to the Marines. I couldn't keep it a secret.
How
My father was very patriotic.
Your father?
Yeah. He became really American 100%.
when he went with you, when you went to the Marines.
Yeah, he went to them. Well, after the Marines gave me 2 weeks. And, before that, Leah and I went off to New York. We traveled to New York with her sister and a friend of his. And we traveled all around for a couple of weeks, and then we came back.
What year do you join the Marines?
Jesus
remember?
Christ, I don't remember.
43?
It was around 43.
So,
Yeah, that's for sure.
all of 42, you're still living in San Francisco
Right.
and working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And once I joined the Marines, they gave me a week or something, and
They gave you a week. So basically, you went back to Chicago.
Right.
You-
And I had a week there, and then I came to the Marines in Chicago.
Tell me about.
I went to, my father came with me, and this gentleman gentleman came from Europe. It just
Do you at this time, when you're before the Marines, before you go in the Marines, do you know what's happening with Jews in Europe?
certainly,
You know about
the whole world know.
the concentration camps?
Yes. And I just, if I had to fight, I wanted to fight the Germans. I wanted to fight them anyhow, but that was with my mouth. And I knew, certainly I knew. I was dying to do something, although I didn't think of enlisting. And I was part of the Zionist movement, the Shomer Tza'ir, which is very tight, you know.
Tell me about basic training.
Well,
What you remember of basic training? Don't most of the Marines go to Paris Island?
there are two places, Paris Island and
San Diego.
not San Francisco,
San Diego.
San Diego.
There's a place there.
I was in San Diego.
Okay. Because they were probably sending you to the Pacific.
Yes, yes.
So tell me about basic training.
Basic training was.
Is it tough?
Yes, it's tough, but if you're in pretty good shape, you can do it, but it's hard. But some people don't make it, but most do, I think.
Did they kick your butt in?
No, they didn't kick your butt in, but they marched you for hours and hours. You had basic, you had marching, just marching, left, right, left, for hours every day. That was the first part of it, just to get you broken in. And then you had other training. Other training with bayonet and the rifle. And
What was your job in the Marines? Were you
I
a
was just-
sniper?
I
Were you
I
a
was
radio
just,
operator?
I was just, what do you call a soldier, infantry soldier in the Marines.
What kind
We
of
lived in a tent. What about that?
You're meeting a lot of different people from the U.S.
From where?
You're meeting a lot of people from
Americans.
a real America.
Yeah, really. Well, I lived in America all my life.
That's true. That's true.
And
you worked in San Francisco.
yeah, and so forth and so on, and we had a lot of training and basic training, they call it,
Yeah.
which is
About 6 months.
and
A few months.
yeah, a few
And
months.
were your drill sergeants tough? Were they like really?
They were tough, but they were pretty smart people.
Uh-huh.
I found that out because I got in trouble. And I had a fight. And
With a guy marching behind you.
yes,
I read about that.
yes,
Until you couldn't take it anymore and you whacked him in the face.
that's right. And the whole platoon stops. They make a circle, and he says, "Go get the gloves." I says, "Well, this is great to get gloves up." He the shit out of them. And he comes with the gloves, and they put the gloves on. I can't raise my hands
Why?
because they got weight in them.
Why?
What? They got probably concrete or something in there,
Why is that though?
so you wouldn't be able to fight.
Do you remember who this soldier was? Do you
No,
remember?
no, I never did.
It's anti-Semitic.
He was the one who was giving you anti-Semitic remarks.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that started the fight.
Yeah.
I turned around right in the middle of the whole platoon marching and hit him with all I had 2 or 3
And
times.
did you go to the stockade?
No, nothing. Just they put it in the box. And we never were able to box because we couldn't lift our hands. But I was stupid. I should have used my feet. I should have kicked the hell out of him with my feet.
And you never really had any issues of anti-Semitism after that in the Marines, did you?
Well, I don't remember actually, but I think there was a little bit maybe. I would
But you can't really remember.
No,
yeah.
but I would get eaten up immediately.
You wouldn't shut up.
There were other Marines, there were Jews in the Marines too. There were other Jews there too. Wherever you went, there were Jews.
Do you remember where you were when you heard about D-Day? Were you already in the Marines?
Yes, I was already. No, I wasn't.
You weren't.
No, I wasn't. What's the date that I joined the Marines?
44.
1944.
Okay.
So you joined the war at the end,
It was near the end.
near the end,
Near the end, but I was in the
Pacific.
I was in the Battle of Bougainville. That is Bougainville and the Philippines.
In the Philippines, yeah?
Yes.
My cousin, my father's cousin was killed in the Battle of Leyte,
Yeah.
Gulf of Leyte.
Yeah.
He got hit by a Japanese sniper.
Wow.
Yeah, they used a lot of that kind of stuff, snipers and stuff.
Aber they went to look for snipers there in Bougainville.
We did.
You
Yeah.
went to
We
look
used to go every morning in Bougainville looking for snipers or guys that were left because there were always Marines left in the jungle, and we were trying to clean them out. And they
So
were
when you finish basic training, where do you go
San Diego.
after San Diego?
After San Diego, went to
Take your time.
a camp that was
Miramar.
what?
Miramar.
Miramar. Yeah, Miramar.
is Burma. Burma.
No, California.
Oh, in California. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Miramar.
Myanmar is Burma. So you were in
Myanmar.
California. You went to
Yeah, we
Myanmar.
went to California, and there we were a few months training.
What's the training? Is it like battle, explosives?
San Diego.
More than anything else, they put on physical education. They train you to be able to exist or to in any conditions. In other words, nothing bothered you physically that you couldn't do.
Sure.
March from morning till night, or
No problem.
well, any.
Be in a jungle, nothing.
Yeah, right.
We go with the ropes and the.
Ah, the ropes, sure they
Yeah,
go.
climb up
Sure they go.
ropes.
Sure they go on the ropes.
You got fit in the Marines.
I got sick.
Fit, good shape.
Yes, I was in good shape when I went to the Marines. They didn't have any trouble accepting me.
So after you get out, after you're in Myanmar, California,
Yes.
when do you get shipped out to the Pacific?
Well, Miramar is a camp where all the recruits are put before they settle out where they're going to go.
Sure.
And then they sent me after Miramar. They put me in I forget what unit even it was.
From Santa Barbara, they send you.
But it was an infantry unit. It was an infantry unit, and we kept on training, but also afterwards we went into the Pacific. They sent us to the Pacific, and the first place we'd go through these islands that were captured,
Sure.
one after another.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there were bases already. There were Marine bases,
Guam.
Guam,
Caledonia. No, Arabic.
what? A lot of bases, not for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was a training. It was a continued training. And then, because I got sick,
You got sick?
yes, I got sick. That's what I thought you said. You got sick. I got sick. I didn't get the malaria, but I might have had a slight case of malaria because I took Ativan. Everybody took an Ativan, people, and a pill, and it made you yellow, you know. You became yellow as if you had some.
Hepatitis or something.
Yeah.
But that's when you joined the special unit that had to shoot on the airplanes. You joined the airplanes.
I didn't join the airplane. They put me in the Air Corps, the Marine
You
Air Corps.
volunteered to go there.
Well, they asked for volunteers for gunners.
SBD.
They asked for volunteers for gunners in the airplanes.
Yeah.
And I volunteered.
So.
And so I was in the Marine Air Corps
In the Marine
without
Air Corps.
having known what and why and where.
So you were. What kind of plane were you in?
I wasn't in a plane at all when they put me in there. But then they put me in an F-4U. F-4U is a fighter plane. One pilot and one guy behind the pilot.
No, the
Right.
SBD.
What?
That's the SBD, Abba.
It's okay. It's okay.
SBD,
No,
this one.
It's okay.
no, it's the
So
F-4U.
is a matos. But listen,
Yeah.
so you're in an airplane
Yeah.
with a pilot.
Yeah.
And you're in back of the pilot with a gun.
No, I'm not in back of the pilot. There's a gunner in back of the pilot.
Right.
I'm below. They put in the gunner below.
Below the pilot.
Yeah, below the
With
pilot.
the glass.
Yeah.
And you're a gunner.
I'm a gunner below there because the Japanese Zeros would come all over the place and they never began to shoot the guy in the back of the plane. And then so we surprised them with a gunner there.
And how many missions did you go on? Do you remember?
I don't know, but a few.
And was it scary?
Well, yes, it wasn't scary, but it was scary. What can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. You say, look at it.
I mean,
This is it. Either you'll get out of it or you won't. That's all.
exactly.
But if
You're-
you can knock down a few zeros, that'll be great.
Now, how many people are in the crew of the airplane?
3.
3 people.
Yeah.
3 people.
The pilot, 2 gunners.
And 2 gunners, one behind him and one below.
Right.
And what's the name of this plane?
F-4U.
SBD.
SBD.
F-4U.
No, F-4U is after. SBD is with the gunner, and they have to
She's
put
looking at the book that you read. that you wrote.
torpedoes at the ship.
Well, these were torpedo ships, too.
They put
They put, yeah, right, Tommy, you're right. It's a torpedo.
A torpedo.
Torpedo ships, yes.
So actually, you don't do infantry combat.
No, I never
never-
get into
You never get. So you get.
Except I did some when we were in the jungles looking for the Japanese that were left.
Did you have any combat experience in the jungles?
Yes, we had some. We would have.
Were you injured?
Yes, I was slightly.
Okay.
I got shrapnel in my ass.
In your ass.
Yes,
Excellent.
and I went to the clinic myself in the field, and
Abba, you got very injured there.
well afterwards, Tommy,
Okay, afterwards.
and the what do they call it? What do they call them? Marines call the nurses. What do they call them? Well, anyhow, the guy took pulled it out.
You pulled the shrapnel out of your butt.
Yeah, he pulled it out with his hand. He said, "It's okay, kid. You're lucky. That's nothing." Put a little something on it, a little patch, and I went back. But when I got sick,
Abba, when you got sick, when you were in the SPD, the unit left.
right, the unit left. Right,
Stayed in
the unit left to Australia,
yeah, and then you.
and I thought I would go to Australia with them, but they didn't because I was in the sick bay.
How come you got sick? You got sick from what?
Malaria, I think.
Malaria.
I think, but I'm
so,
not
so
sure.
So basically, you're in the Marine Air Force,
Right now, I'm in the Marine Air Force.
and you volunteered.
Yes.
And you're going on missions.
Yes, I was going.
Torpedo missions?
Yes.
No, he was scared. You went once.
No,
you
I.
were scared.
What?
You went to the toilet when they went.
When I went to where?
You were hiding in the toilet.
No, that's something else. That was a training.
Okay.
That was a training.
Tell me about how it is to be flying in the Pacific with pilots going on missions.
Well, it's not an easy thing to digest, but it's possible because you're still not in combat. You know, you're in combat, but you're not in combat. If you don't meet any planes, if you don't have any, what do you call it? You don't drop your torpedoes. Actually, we dropped torpedoes on their bases, on their ships, on their. We went to bomb their, what do you call it? Their
convoys.
No, not the convoys. These big
battleships.
Battleships. Destroyers.
No, aircraft lander. What are they called? Aircraft carriers.
Aircraft carriers,
yeah.
right.
Really?
We bombed anything that was Japanese.
And
even fishing ships were part of their.
And where was your base located? The air base. Do you remember where the?
I think we were at Bougainville.
Bougainville. Where is that exactly?
212 unit.
Okay.
Of the Marines.
Of the Marines.
And then he met his best friend, and that was the F4U.
F4U, okay.
And you met your friend, what's his name?
Danny.
No, Danny.
Shapiro.
Shapiro, yeah.
Shapiro, yeah. Right.
Picture of Shapiro.
Yeah.
Tell me who Shapiro is.
Shapiro was a Jewish guy that was in the Marines. He joined up as soon as the Marines were, the day that the Marines were attacked. He joined the Marines. And he was a sergeant in the F4U unit.
He was a mechanic?
Yes.
Yeah, he's.
Where was he from?
In New York.
New York.
New York.
And you guys.
We became friends.
So you were on the fighting on the cruise.
Right.
And he was a mechanic.
No, but he I don't know. I think he was also. He was a.
You were guarding the camp around. You were in charge of.
That was a different time, Tommy. Look at things. You know, they meet each other.
Sure.
And you don't remember when you started this and when you ended that.
It's okay. I just want to get back to your. So you're a gunner.
Right.
On two different kind of airplanes.
I'm a gunner in the bottom of the ship, right.
Right. And then there's the other airplane.
That he was in charge of the security of the
airport.
Camp.
Of the camp.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't in charge of security. I was in charge of the unit that were looking for snipers around the camp.
Okay. And so you're seeing action in the Pacific.
Yeah.
They moved to Philippines.
You're seeing action.
Yes.
They took them to the Philippines. And then you saw MacArthur.
But it didn't matter anymore where the hell you were or what you were doing.
And you wanted to fight Nazis, not Japanese.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. That's the thing. But then I said, well, these guys are fascists too. And they're my men and me.
And you end up in the Philippines?
They took us, the first place we got to, when we left Bougainville, they put us on a big airplane and flew us to Philippines.
To Manila?
No, we were in the Philippines and I was on an island called Big Island.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Samara.
Huh?
What?
Samara.
Samara?
Yeah, it was Samara.
Samara, I
Okay.
think so,
Big,
yes.
Big camp there.
Yes.
Now, is the war over at this time?
No, the war is on, and we're bombing Japan every day, and our job is to go with the big bombers that they brought from Europe.
Sure.
cross over Europe.
B-52s.
Yes.
Right, the
And
B-52s,
we-
B-28s.
Yeah, B-24.
And
so you're securing them.
Right. We're securing and fighting. When you get close to Japan, they say, all the Zeros come up to protect their country.
How was that?
That was pretty, what do you call it? Pretty screwed up. And never knew who or what or why. But they were coming up to shoot you down. And you were there to shoot them down. And every day you went back to your base.
How many missions like that did you do?
I don't know, maybe 5, 6.
Enough.
Well, I don't know if it was enough or not.
And
Some missions we didn't see anything.
so you're in the Pacific, you're in the Philippines when the Americans dropped the atomic bomb.
Absolutely.
I
I don't remember if I was. I don't
No,
remember
he
what.
was wounded already. He was
Right.
in the ship.
Right.
In the ship,
You were in a hospital ship?
Yeah, in the hospital
What
ship
happened with
when
you?
it
Where did
happened.
you get wounded? Tell me about your wound.
Where did I get wounded?
Yeah.
I got wounded
In the
because
Philippines, 10 days.
because my
Somehow.
one of our F4Us went crazy and turned over while they were taking off, not in battle. He was taking off, and all of a sudden he turned over. He made it. Well, they said either either a sniper fired at him, or he could have forgot to. They have this tail, on these ships, and the tail end went up.
So it was an accident.
Yes, it was an
And
accident.
what was your injury?
White,
Well,
half
my
of the
injury,
company
I was
camp.
I was very badly burned.
You were burned.
The ship blew up.
You
The
tried-
airplane blew up, and we were in the airplane, not in, but almost in, to get the pilot out because he was yelling, "Hell, get me out of here, get me out of here." And we weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to go there and things like that. They have special crews. And it blew up.
So it was basically.
And I
Yeah,
found
yeah,
myself standing about, maybe, I don't know, about 30 meters from the airplane that I blew up in. Standing. Just standing and in flames. And a motorcycle guy came by and stopped. He got a canvas out of his weather and began putting out the fire. He put the fire, he says, "Get out, I'll take you to the clinic."
Was anybody killed?
Oh, yeah, it was the worst accident they had in the air car. There were over 100 people, over 100 guys were killed. Not only because it blew up, they had full ammunition, and he turned over right in the middle of
Was
our.
the plane landing or was it taking off?
He was taking off. He wasn't landing or taking off. He was going to the place where he's going to take off. And then when he blew up, he was right in the camp. Right in the camp, over 100 soldiers, 100 Marines.
He went to
Marines
the
and
tanks,
Seabees.
everything.
Wow. So
They were killed, and I was.
One of the-
you were
I
burned.
woke up in the hospital. I was out for 2 or 3 days, and standing in front of me was a priest.
A priest, yeah.
Yeah, he had this big cloak on, and he had a cross, a big cross.
Bless you, my son.
He said to me, what did he say to me? I said, I said, I'm not going to remind me of, before they die, the priest
Last
comes to
rites.
the last rites. And I says, I'm not going to die again. I'm not going to die. Because I felt I wasn't going to die. And he says, I know, son, I know. He says, I just came to visit you to see how you are. I says, and I'm Jewish. He says, I know you're Jewish. I said, how do you know? He says, they're written on your, what do you call it, on your dog tag?
On your dog
H,
tag.
H,
You had an
H,
H on the dog
H,
tag. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
H.
yeah, yeah.
Hebrew. Hebrew.
Yeah.
Right.
But he just wanted to. He wanted to.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to do his job. And
So how? So
and this,
you're out of commission now. I mean, you're.
I'm completely out of commission. So
How do you recover from such an injury?
by saying nothing's gonna hurt me, I'm gonna get out of this thing.
Abba, they put, when you were in the Philippines, they took you to the clinic there, and then they took you to the shop, to the hospital shop.
To what?
To the hospital shop, boat.
Ship.
Ship.
You're on a hospital boat.
Oh yeah, I was on the hospital ship.
Yeah.
They
So.
took you
Do you
and
me-
you
do you
were
remember
on
the
Oh
name?
yes.
How long were you on that ship for?
U.S. Hope.
Yeah, U.S. Hope. Right.
They-
U.S.
put,
Hope.
You was at a
Yeah.
hospital. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
they put the Purple Heart on the pillows.
Okay, okay.
You got a Purple Heart.
I yeah, but I never got the Purple
How
Heart
come?
because when they took me on the ship to go home,
No,
the-
no, to the hospital ship. They took you to the hospital ship.
that's right. They took me to the hospital ship. They never took the pillow.
With the
But a lot of guys never saw their Purple Heart. A lot of them never saw it. And then I was examined by a number of doctors, and their job was to find out exactly how bad that's a few weeks after, maybe even a month after, to find out how bad your injuries are and so forth and so on. And of course, I was bleeding everywhere, and I told the doctor, every time I start to move, I bleed.
Yeah.
And he says, well, that's all right. He says, that's good. Don't stop. He says, the more you do and the more you pressure and push yourself, he says, you're better off. And so I went to play ping pong in the hospital.
Ping pong.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
But tell him what happened on the ship, on the hospital ship, when it started to rain. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that is a very interesting
Tell
thing.
me.
Scratch your hair because I don't remember anymore. You have to remind me. We were put on this hospital ship. They put us in it was made out of metal, and they lifted us by cranes, each one. It was the place we were at, a big ship couldn't get in, so only these small ships could get in there, sub-chasers and those, and they didn't have too much room. And so we were lifted onto the ship by a crane, put on the deck, and then they took off. And
That's how they loaded you on the ship.
yeah, on this hospital ship.
And
then I said, look at these son of a bitches, these sailors.
it began to
What
rain.
bastards.
It was raining.
It began to rain real hard, and they all ran, left us. I said, the son of a bitches, look at them. We're right here in the open. And they're going out to their, what do you call it? They all came back in 2 or 3 minutes with their ponchos, and they covered us up. I remember it to this day. It was one of the greatest events.
How long were you disabled for?
How long?
Yeah.
Well, I was disabled for quite a while because they told me I couldn't go back.
Right.
Yeah. And they suggested I get discharged because
Right.
there's a point. They have the war has got to the stage where there are points that if you had enough points, you could get discharged.
Right.
And I had enough points already with the wounds
Sure.
and the years that I'd been in
Sure.
there and so forth and so on.
Sure. So you get
Yeah.
so when you get the ship Hope, the USS Hope, takes you back to the United States.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Where does it take you?
They're only in the Pacific. They're only there.
New Guinea.
New Guinea.
New Guinea.
New New Guinea. They take you to Papua New Guinea,
I think so.
Yes,
and then back to the States.
After we were in New Guinea for a while.
Yeah, and you're
But on the ship that we went to New Guinea was really horrible. I mean, it was so stuffed in. We're all on the deck all the time.
Yeah.
In any case, we get to New Guinea, and one day the doctor comes, and he's Jewish. And he knows I'm Jewish. And he says, Jake, he says, you want to go back to the States? I said, are you kidding? He says, no, I'm not kidding. He says, we got no room on that ship for any more wounded. But if you could get out, walk up that ship by yourself, walk up and get it to the one next there, you can go. I said, for Christ's sake, I'll crawl up on my teeth if I have to. And I did. I walked up and I thought I was better not getting in there. But they took me, we came back, and after, and during the period that we were on the ship going back to the States, Roosevelt died.
Roosevelt died.
Yes.
Really? Okay. Yes. So if Roosevelt died while you were on the ship, when the atomic bomb was dropped, you were already back in the States.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right.
Now I have the time frame.
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
And you remember?
Roosevelt
You
died
remember
when he was in the boat.
coming back?
No, when he was in the hospital boat.
On the what?
On the hospital boat. The ship.
Hope.
Hope?
Hope.
What about it?
Do you remember when he died?
Sure.
It was yeah.
I don't remember the date.
Yeah. It was April 12th.
Yeah, but nobody knew. Nobody knew who was
who Truman was.
Yeah.
That we know. That we know. And when you get back to the United States, you get back to the base, right? At Santa Barbara.
I get back to Santa Barbara and I say to them, who's in charge? Who's the officer in charge? And they tell me, and I say, I want to go to Great Lakes. That's in Chicago. It's considered Chicago, but it takes about an hour and a half to go there from Chicago. But it's considered Chicago. And I said, I want to go to the hospital in the Great Lakes. There's a big naval hospital.
Okay.
And they said, we'll put you there tomorrow morning. I said, great. And the next morning, I'm in the hospital.
Do they fly you there?
No, I'm in the hospital. I came with the ship.
And you're in California?
And we're in California. They put us on the train.
On the train, okay.
And I get there, and I call up my family, and I call up naturally Leah.
And what's your condition physically? What kind of condition are you in?
Well, I'm recovering.
Yeah.
I'm recovering.
Yeah.
And they told me I would be 30%
burnt.
30% of the invalid.
Invalid.
I would not be able to go back, so I might as well discharge. But that was.
Did your parents know that you were injured?
No, that's also a story. That's also a story. My parents get this letter from me saying I was injured, but I'm okay. I live in the right hand, so I can't write, so a nurse is writing for me. And of course it was a lie, but I didn't want to tell them, I was injured badly. And
so you kind of like half lied to them.
What?
You lied to them, but
right.
Like I'm injured, but I'm okay.
Yeah, but a day after they get a letter, missing in action.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine that? What would happen if they got that letter first? That was really murder.
Right. He asked the nurse to write.
Sure, of course.
Right.
Of course. So, you get back to Great Lakes, Chicago.
No, but first I'm on these.
On the train.
I'm on this. No, I'm in the same place that I left California, that I left to go to the war. I came back to Long Beach.
Long Beach, okay.
Yeah.
I know where Long Beach is.
Yeah. I came back to the hospital there in Long Beach, Naval Hospital. And then they began to, decide to go here, go there.
But when did you go back to Illinois, to Chicago?
I went back to Chicago when I got to my hospital.
And how long?
And I'd been in the hospital for quite a few months.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Leah used to come and visit me
I'm
every
sure.
single day.
I'm sure.
And
How was that?
Leah worked as a waitress in the restaurants in downtown
Chicago.
Chicago, and she would save all the coins because I played poker. And I tell her, bring a lot of small change.
Where in the hospital you played poker?
Yeah, sure. What are you gonna do? Play ping pong?
How is it to see your parents after you come back and Leah, your family?
Well, Leah, we were together all the time after that. She'd come every single day.
How far was the
I know. You can't get out of the hospital. They take all your clothes away. They take all your clothes away and they give you clothes.
Sure.
And I have a little cabinet there. And I said, bring me a pair of pants and a couple of shirts and a couple of this. And she does. And we walk out of the hospital as if we're visiting. And we go on. And the day before I was operated on.
But that's a different story.
What?
That's a different
Right,
story.
that's a different
Hold on.
story, right.
That's with
Right, okay, I just,
When do you finally get discharged?
But the poker is.
The poker what?
The
It's
poker
from that
one,
time. Yeah. No, I can. When do you finally get discharged from the army, from the Marines? Do you remember?
I don't know, I think it all took a few months.
A few months.
But
But when the war is over,
the war is over when I got
you're
this.
in the hospital. You're in the
Right,
hospital.
right.
You're in Chicago in the hospital.
Right,
recuperating,
right. I'm in Long Beach Hospital.
Not
It's not
long.
in Chicago. Not Long Beach,
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in
In
Great
Illinois.
Lakes Hospital.
And and your parents come to see you, of course.
Everybody comes to see me.
Comes
It's
to
a
see
long
you.
trip.
And your burns are mostly where? Is it all over your body or
Mostly on my legs and back, and you don't see anything now.
No.
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Did
I was all scarred.
See,
Yeah.
She said, what?
here you have scars.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you have scars.
She says it.
Now-
They took skin from his hands,
Right.
from his legs. and
Yeah.
put it
Sure.
on his hands.
Yeah. And
That was painful. That was worse than the war.
did you ever take advantage of the GI Bill?
When you say take advantage, what do you mean? I was
Because-
given what do you call it for? I forget the language.
What's the word? Like a pension, not a
Yeah.
pension, like a one,
Ah.
like a payment.
A payment for my wounds.
Okay.
For my
So you got
injuries, yes.
compensations.
Yes. Yeah, and
That's
I was
a-
given,
yeah.
I was given, yes.
Till today you get it.
Yeah.
Still gets it. Yeah.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
God bless Uncle Sam.
Right.
Right?
They
Right.
didn't check it.
Huh?
They don't check like this.
They check. They check you after a month. They check you after 3 months. They check you after 6 months, and then they stop. If they don't see any difference in what the end's going to be, then they stop checking you.
So till today you get your
I get my
what is it called? The V8?
the Veterans Administration.
Right. $60?
$50.
I don't know.
How am I going to do with
I
$50?
don't know.
500? How much?
Anyways.
Wait, let's see.
But also the GI Bill is something different. Everybody who got out of the military
They were
service
saying
after
no.
the war,
No.
They could
You
get-
got
they could
you
get-
got you got a weekly check, and you have 2 checks every single week.
When he got released, he got
Yeah.
checks.
But the GI Bill
It's all his life? No.
It's for studying. The U.S. government,
You got it. He will tell
the
you.
U.S. government would pay you to study after you finish the service.
Right, so I went to be a mechanic in the garage. And my mother used to make me meals. You were able to
So
get a job.
I want to stop for a second. So the war's over.
Right,
You,
Yeah, it's written here about it.
yeah, the war is over. You get released you get discharged from the army, and you're released
from the
from
Marines,
from
yes,
the Marines,
yes,
and you're now a civilian.
right.
Are you back living with your parents? It's 1945.
I think I lived in Leah's house for a
No,
while.
but you went to what's the name? Hightstown.
Right,
Where you go?
you are.
Hightstown.
Right,
What is
right,
that?
you are. Hightstown in New Jersey. It's a training camp for people who are going to build a kibbutz. So you get together and you see what it's like in a kibbutz.
So, wait a minute. So you're discharged from the army, and you're getting back into Hashomer Tzair?
I'm connected all the time. You know, you never leave those things because they
And
are
Leah, too?
permanent. What?
Leah's still in high school, no?
No,
in
she's
Hightstown.
finished.
She's
Leah
in
did 2
Hightstown.
years of college.
Yeah, but she was in Hightstown when you went.
She went with me to Hightstown.
Yeah, she was before.
So it's
you
like a
went.
hachshara.
Yeah, Hachshara, that's what it was. Yeah.
So
They
you
were
go-
farmers, yeah.
In New Jersey.
She went with me. And there's always about 20 people there. If some leave for going to Israel or leave, somebody else takes their place. And we have this farm, like this little farm, called Hightstown. And nearby, there's a big community called Roosevelt. Did you ever hear of Roosevelt? During after the war, Roosevelt, the town of Roosevelt, Roosevelt made a law to give Jews land in this town, and it was called Roosevelt.
It was in Wisconsin.
No, it wasn't in Wisconsin. It was in New Jersey.
No, you went to
Okay.
Wisconsin to get melafefonim with you. Not
Cucumbers.
yeah, cucumber.
I didn't go to Wisconsin to get cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Okay.
And when we left, I was in charge of closing the place up.
I want to ask you, before you go to this place in New Jersey, you're out of the army, you're in Chicago, you're studying to be a mechanic?
No, I'm not studying to be anything, but I'm getting a job as a welder all the time.
As a welder.
Yeah, I could get 3 jobs a day if I wanted
Wow.
to, because
Wow.
it was still on the basis of the war what they
Sure.
were doing, and
Yeah. So is there any now? What do you know about what's happening here?
in Israel,
Yeah.
I know because I'm in Shomer Tzair.
What do you what's the word? What's happening?
What do you mean? What's happening in
Like
Israel?
in Israel, there's, we have refugees displaced.
Yes, yes,
Trying to get to Palestine.
right.
There's
Well, we meet them. We come shortly. Leah and I are the first ones in Kibbutz Asa.
But your friend Davy Baum, he brought refugees.
My friend Davy Baum joined what they called they had it was Palmach that they were part of, but they weren't really part of Palmach. The Sochnut bought ships to bring Jews from Europe.
Sure.
And the English made a law that wouldn't let Jews go in.
Right.
And so I had to leave America to get to Israel, but they wouldn't give me a visa. But I had an uncle who had a little tiny factory. They made wine or something. And he gave me an official letter from the factory that I'm an engineer of this and
Your
that.
uncle here.
Yes.
I'm in America.
I'm in the States, I'm in Chicago. And he gave me a letter that I sent for a visa, and they accepted it.
He's a-
And so I got in legally. I got in legally in an illegal way. They accepted me and I came, and as soon as I came, well, first of all, I had to send a picture, and I got a $2 Woods before I came.
Wait a sec. There's an embargo on Israel-Palestine at the time.
Right, right.
No weapons, no
No
this,
nothing, no nothing.
no. Were you involved in any illegal activity?
Well,
Wait a sec. Any illegal activity for Palestine in the United States?
I really don't remember, but I knew there was all sorts of people gathering on downtown and yelling and so forth, and let them in, let the people go, let them go. And there were ships that were sunk by the British. There were Haganah ships sunk by the British that time.
Did you have just something I want to ask you, out of curiosity? I know I'm going back in time a little. So you're living in Chicago before the war, or during the war, or after the war. You're in Chicago. You're in HaShomer HaTzair. You're very active. Do you guys have any connection with Jews who are also active in like Beitar
Yeah,
or in
sure,
that
sure.
are not connected to Shomer HaTzair?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you tell me?
Sure. Poel Mizrahi.
Yeah, but that's
They're very close to HaShomer HaTzair, but they're religious.
the religious.
Yes.
But I'm actually talking about revisionists, like Jabotinsky people or
Yeah, we
Beitar.
would, when he spoke somewhere, we would be there to yell and tell him to get down and so forth and so on.
Really?
Yes, fascist.
In Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Leah, does she want to come? So when do you and Leah decide that you're going to Palestine?
We decided immediately
Immediately when?
when we were in the movement, but that was it was kids and then it was adults and then so forth and so on. But then when the Jews began to come from Europe, it was really a movement, and the British stopped that. And so I did this thing with the letter from this company, and I got a visa.
Who did you get a phone call from?
From the Shomer HaTzair.
No, I didn't get a phone call. I was in Iceland. I was part
No,
of
you
it.
got a phone call if you want to join the first.
They came to me and asked me if I'm willing to go into the first Garin
Uh-huh.
for this new kibbutz that they're going to build.
Okay.
And I said, yes. And Leah had just finished second year in university. She was biology.
Uh-huh.
And I told her, I said, Leah, we're going to Israel. She says, when? I said, in a couple of weeks, okay. She said, okay.
When do you guys get married?
We got married before we came to Israel.
Okay. So you guys, before you go to Israel, you go to New Jersey,
October 1948.
right?
Right.
You
When we got married in Chicago.
right. You
But
got
half of Milwaukee, HaShomer HaTzair came to the wedding too.
Really?
Yes.
What?
1946.
46 they got married, right?
Yeah.
46.
October.
Uh-huh. And they came in December 47 to Israel.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Uh-huh. I remember that. So when you guys are in New Jersey at the Hachshara place, you guys are already married, right? You and Leah are married
Yes,
already, right?
yes,
You're
yes, we're married,
They
yes.
weren't married.
In New Jersey.
Yes, we were.
Jersey, you weren't married.
Yes, we were.
You got married before you came to Israel.
That's right. Well, that was before I came to Israel.
And how long were you in the Hachshara for in New Jersey? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
1 year. I think.
A year.
I don't remember. I don't know if it was.
1 year.
Is that where you learned how to
Yeah. They
deal with
got
agriculture and?
Burned. Got burned. Ah, yeah, they were married before because it
Yeah.
burned the marriage certificate. Your marriage certificate got burned there.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
If you say so.
How was the Hachshara?
The Hachshara it was supposed to teach you to live in a kibbutz, to build a kibbutz. But it was so far-fetched from living in a kibbutz.
Of course.
It was like an invitation.
And what are they telling you in the Hachshara that you're gonna?
They didn't tell you you were there part of it. You were part of the Hachshara. There were a bunch of kids who were trying to be farmers.
19.
And they got the land from the Histadrut. And Poel Mizrahi had a Hachshara. And what do you call it, had a Hachshara? What's his name?
Beitar.
Beitar had a
Yeah,
Hachshara.
but Beitar, they're not really into agriculture. They're more into like.
Right.
They're not farmers.
Yeah, more fighting.
Yeah. In November, right before you leave for Palestine, is the 29th of November, the declaration in the United Nations of the partition.
Yes.
You're still in the United States at the time.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Remember that on the radio? Do you remember?
Yes, we were on the ship going to Israel.
On the ship.
We're on the ship going to Israel. There was a big celebration on the ship. Because it wasn't only Hashomer Tzayir. There were other groups of Zionists and people coming to Israel.
We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna stop very soon, and then tomorrow we're gonna talk about Sasa and coming here, and then I think we're good.
Okay.
But this
But
is.
Abba, you got a phone call there. It
Wait.
says about the phone call. I think you forgot about the phone call. It got burned.
Yeah.
Eiston got burned.
It got
Remember,
burnt. It got
Abba?
burnt. The
That's in
Hachshara.
The Hachshara burned.
Yeah, that's in the. That's
Yeah,
in
the whole building burned.
How did it burn? Was it an electrical problem or?
It was an electrical problem, but it wasn't a problem. I mean, they had these.
Hold on a second. יום אחד הגיע שיחת טלפון מפתיעה, התקשרו אליי מהתנועה ושאלו. So you get a phone call asking you to come to the Hachshara because they want you to be in the first Garin that's
to
come to Israel.
Right.
yeah.
Right,
First he
right.
has to do Hachshara,
Right.
Yeah.
and then he does Hachshara, and then he comes.
I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly.
the last thing I want to talk to you about today is your wedding. You got married in Chicago, 1946, correct?
Yeah.
Do you remember your wedding anniversary date?
No, I don't remember.
You remember what did you do with Ima before the wedding when you were waiting?
What did I do? Tell me.
You played cards with Ima.
Ah, yeah.
Who?
We were in at the wedding. They put us in a little room together, me and Leah. You're not supposed to be together.
Right.
So we were playing cards, and the rabbi came in there. He said, "No, this cannot be. One of you have got to get out." So Leah went out. And then he took her glasses away. And when she was going to the kibbutz to get married, she couldn't see anything. She almost walked off the stage.
And then Milwaukee came, all your friends.
I said that.
He
I
said
said
that.
that.
He said that.
I said that.
Yeah.
The arbiters were.
Milwaukee was a big branch, right?
Yeah, it was actually, it's very close to Chicago.
How far is Milwaukee in Chicago? Is it like
90 miles.
90 miles, yeah.
Yes, but it's done in less than an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
On the train, yeah.
yeah.
Milwaukee was a big Hashomer HaTzair branch.
Right.
Golda was from Milwaukee, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, but not from Shomer Tzayir.
She wasn't
She was from
there?
Milwaukee years before.
Right, of course.
Years
Not
before.
years before, but she was there in the teens.
And she came from Russia.
She came from Kiev.
Kiev.
Yeah.
And she came to Milwaukee to visit, and there wasn't any white people in the class, and all blacks.
Yeah.
A lot of blacks in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, yeah. And what about did you look up to Golda Meir? Was she like a?
I liked her very
Yeah.
much, yeah. Very much.
Yeah.
My daughters didn't think so. I had a fight with my younger daughter
Okay.
because she said, "Hey, that old lady, why don't you go home already?"
You admired her. Who else did you admire?
What?
Who else did you admire in your lifetime?
Well, you know, Diane was in the papers all the time, and there was a war going on with the Arabs here all the time. They were fighting, and there were certain people that were, you know.
What did you think about Menachem Begin?
I didn't think very much about him, and I didn't know very much about him. I didn't particularly care, and he wasn't part of my.
Even when he was prime minister?
Oh, that's later.
Yeah, later. Yeah.
That's later.
Yeah.
Blake Begin was an honest man.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And so is his son.
Yeah. So is his son.
That's why he isn't getting anywhere in politics.
Exactly, because he's not a bloodsucker.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Same time, 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we might do it a little bit longer, just because it's our last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But we're on a great schedule here.
They tell you to decide and you want to be released or not.
Well, they told me I can't go back to active duty.
Right.
Absolutely not. And they suggested, the Vada of the doctor suggested that I go get released.
But then you asked for a month to think.
Yes,
You
I
went-
did.
And you went
Yeah.
on vacation.
Right, I said I haven't had a chofish, I haven't had a furlough. I said 10 days I got since I was in the Marines. And I said those 10 days, it takes me 6 days to travel to Chicago up and back twice by train.
So you went
From
to
Ca-
New York with Ima and
So they gave me a month and I went with Ima and her sister Rose and her boyfriend and we had a real good time that month.
And you're really surprised to see people living like regular.
I'm surprised to see people eating in New York.